This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jeanelle Slade.
And I'm Jay Cohn. Well, tonight, preparations for Thanksgiving underway all across the country. But in New York City, authorities take it to a new level.
50 million people across the country will tune in to watch New York's Thanksgiving Day parade tomorrow. Another 2.5 million will watch it in person.
And it's those 2.5 million that police are focused on. After all, it's been less than a month since 8 people were killed in a New York City terror attack.
Nikki Batiste is on the parade route tonight with the latest.
There are new balloons.
Let me see your back, please.
And new security measures at this year's New York Thanksgiving Day parade.
They checked our bags, and there were so many police officers, all equipped on every block.
I saw the sniff dogs, I saw the police officers, and I know that they have a lot of security here.
Thousands waited in this security line before seeing characters like Olaf from Frozen, Ronald McDonald, and Hello Kitty. For the first time ever, the balloons were inflated during daylight hours as a security measure in the wake of October's truck attack that left 8 people dead. There are armed officers walking the crowds and bomb-sniffing dogs here tonight. Tomorrow during the parade, sharpshooters will be on rooftops.
You'll see thousands of uniformed personnel tomorrow keeping us safe. There'll be long gun teams there too. And that's the reality of 2017.
The New York Police Department will also position sanitation trucks up and down the route, blocking any vehicles from entering. Officers are also working with hotels, training staff on what to look for after a gunman opened fire last month from a hotel room in Las Vegas, killing 58 people and injuring 450 others. Security crews will also monitor dozens of cameras set up throughout the city.
There's probably not a spot in New York City that there isn't some sort of camera that can be focused on you.
But the children here tonight care only about the size of these balloons.
I say that they're probably more than 100 inches, my guess.
100 inches?
Yeah, what? Just look at one.
That's giant.
Yeah.
The balloons will fly Thursday morning as the parade kicks off for the 91st time. Nikki Batiste, CBS News, New York.
And security officials say there are no credible or specific threats against New York City or the parade.
Well, whether your travel plans involve the highways or the skyways, luck has been on your side this week. Bob McGuire is here. And Bob, for those heading out of town for this holiday, looks like clear sailing. Huh?
Oh, yeah, it's not bad at all on the roadways. We had a couple of showers around Missoula and Kalispell. Those have since died out. Let me show you what's happening. This is from our Doppler radar and satellite imagery. The only thing we got going is a few clouds across south central Montana. You can see the spotty sprinkles we had around Great Falls, Missoula, and Kalispell. Those guys have dried up and blown away as well. But the only issue we have is this. High winds tomorrow across most of western Montana, and that's a high wind warning up around Glacier Park. Could see 75-mile-per-hour winds there. 60-mile-per-hour winds in the area is highlighted in orange. There in the Beartooth Mountains, we have a wind advisory for 70-mile-per-hour winds and 75-mile-per-hour winds in the Cody foothills out there. And if you're traveling by air, there's not one delay at any of the major airports in the country right now. Let's go back to you guys.
Certainly good news. Thank you very much, Bob.
Well, volunteers at the Montana Rescue Mission are busy tonight prepping Thanksgiving dinner.
The annual meal will be served at the Rescue Mission's men's shelter down on Minnesota Avenue. A public chapel service begins at noon tomorrow. Dinner follows from 1 to 3 p.m. Mission volunteers also will be delivering Thanksgiving dinners to homebound folks who request them.
Those at the Montana Rescue Mission tell us the day is very special and they are grateful for the community's help.
A major setback today for the proposed Keystone XL pipeline as a federal judge rules that a lawsuit challenging President Trump's approval of the pipeline's cross-border permit will be allowed to proceed. TransCanada, the company proposing the pipeline, and the Trump administration were asking that that lawsuit be tossed out. But instead, Judge Brian Morris says this lawsuit by the Northern Plains Resource Council, the Sierra Club, and 4 other environmental and landowner groups can now move forward. The suit alleges that the State Department used an outdated environmental review of the proposed pipeline, and the plaintiffs claim the Trump administration failed to consider key information about the project's impacts. Glendive area rancher Dina Hoff, one of the main plaintiffs in the suit, told us today's ruling furthers her resolve to fight to stop the project.
Tell you, it's something really to be thankful for. I am so excited that we're validated in our opinion that we've stated all along that the Trump administration is not above the law, that he can't recast the State Department policy to avoid judicial review, and there are a lot of impacts online for Montana, and we have the longest route of any state. And if you consider that Keystone 1, just recently had its 18th leak, I'm feeling pretty good that someone is looking at this and saying this has to be looked at again.
The Trump administration had claimed the federal government was not required to comply with the National Environmental Policy Act or the Endangered Species Act, two of the country's bedrock environmental laws, but Judge Morris also rejected that argument.
A 28-year-old Laurel man who died Tuesday night in West Billings was a husband and a father. Yellowstone County Sheriff Mike Linder says Justin Correas died while working on a truck at the Knife River industrial site. According to a Knife River spokesman in Bismarck, Correas was changing a wiper blade and somehow fell between the truck's bumper and the tire. An autopsy determined the preliminary cause of death was asphyxia. OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, has requested copies of that investigation. Sheriff Linder says that likely means the agency will open its own investigation. Now, Linder said investigators have also found no evidence of foul play. Correas left behind his wife Tabitha, 3-year-old son Colt, and 2 foster children.
Don't look now, but Montana's 2018 election is less than a year away.
As MTN's Mike Dennison reports, the people who do politics here in Montana are already gearing up for some epic battles.
When you ask party officials in Montana about their top priority for 2018, the answer comes as no surprise.
Our top priority is re-electing Senator Jon Tester.
Obviously, the Tester Senate race is a key target for us.
Democrat Tester is running for re-election to a 3rd term in the U.S. Senate, and so far as many as 6 Republicans are vying for the nomination to take him on. National Republicans also are targeting Tester, as a Democrat in a state won big last year by President Trump. That means big money will be spent. But Montana State political science professor David Parker says a lot depends on the Republican opponent and whether they keep it competitive.
It's definitely a top 10 race in the country. I don't think it's a top 3 race. Whether or not it's going to be a $50–60 million race like it was in 2012, I'm not too confident yet that that's going to be the case.
The Tester race is the main event in next year's Montana elections. But there's also the re-election race of newly minted Republican Congressman Greg Gianforte, a pair of Supreme Court races, and 125 legislative contests. Already, 6 Democrats are competing to challenge Gianforte.
Gianforte is damaged, and we're going to take him out this time. I'm convinced that we're going to have a strong candidate coming out of the primary, and we're going after him.
Yet Parker says Gianforte is still the favorite in a state where Democrats haven't won this seat since 1994, unless...
I think Gianforte gets into trouble if there's a wave election generally in 2018. And the midterm right now is shaping up to potentially be a wave type election where Democrats could do quite well.
That wave, of course, depends a lot on the popularity of President Trump. Montana Republicans see Trump as a plus and say they're happy to embrace the president.
Trump won by 20 points here, and we get calls every day. What are you doing to support the president?
Democrats, however, say Trump is energizing their forces as well.
We have more enthusiasm now, Mike, than I've seen in a very long time. So I think people are realizing that politics are not a spectator sport, and they are getting involved, and they're going to be there voting in this mid-cycle.
But the 2018 election also will turn on what candidates stand for. And State Republican Party Chair Deborah Lamb points to the GOP message of higher-paying jobs, lower taxes, and less regulation.
The message, I think, is the right message at the right time in Montana. As we've seen over the last few years, we now have 5 out of the 7 statewide and national elected candidates. Those are all Republicans.
Can Democrats stem that tide in Montana in 2018? That's one of the key stories to watch this coming election year. Tomorrow, we'll take a closer look at the money so far in the big Tester race. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison.
Thanks, Mike. Now, Montana candidates cannot start filing for their races until January.
Well, still to come on tonight's 10 o'clock news, millions of people were hit by the Equifax hack. What can you do to protect yourself?
Plus, a little bit of Christmas is heading from Montana to Washington, but not without a pit stop here in Billings.
And coming up in sports, Carroll basketball coach Carson Cunningham has just released his 5th book. Scott has his intriguing story for you coming up.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Cohn. and Jeanelle Slade. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Green.